Neil Francis Lennon already has an Irish double under his belt, but could he be about to complete the hat-trick with a return to management and a job with the Irish national side? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and it's to nobody's surprise that current Irish manager Stephen Kenny could be on his way out. The results have not been there. The results and performances have not been good enough, and Ireland have just went absolutely nowhere under Stephen Kenny. Well, actually, that's a lie. They have went somewhere. They went backwards, okay? And I know they have that 3-0 win over Scotland that they still brag about to this day, but let's be honest, one good result in 3 years is not good enough. So it's no surprise that Stephen Kenny is on his way out the door after the qualifiers, but it maybe is a surprise that Neil Lennon has been installed as the favourite for the job. Now, that is no slight on Neil Lennon whatsoever. I actually rate Neil Lennon as a manager, and if we look at his managerial career here, we can see that he's done pretty good at every club he's been at. I'd say the only club he maybe underperformed at was Bolton, but even then, Bolton were in a bad place when Neil Lennon was there. They were also struggling in the Championship. They weren't like a top Championship level side, so a 22.78% win record is not great by any means, but I don't think his spell at Bolton was that bad. It wasn't good. It certainly wasn't good. It was probably slightly below average, but I don't think it was horrible. Obviously, he's had 2 stints at Celtic. The second stint, people will blame him for the 10 in a row not happening, but I mean, if you look at the win percentage, he did pretty good at his second stint. He done almost identical to his first stint, and if you remember his first stint as well, Celtic were a force in Europe. Okay, for the second half of his first stint, they might not have had Rangers to compete against, but in Europe, he still felt like Celtic could get big results against big clubs, and when Neil Lennon left, that kind of, not invincibility, because they never had that, but Celtic Park being a fortress, Celtic Park being a place where you could expect Celtic to get results in Europe against big teams, kind of faded once Neil Lennon went. So, and you look at the cups and trophies that he won at his time in Celtic, he done a great job at Celtic, okay? His last year kind of fell apart and whatnot, but he did have a good run at Celtic. Hibernian, a 47.97% win percentage. That is very good, no doubt about it. For a club Hibernian size, that is actually great, and I'd argue he's probably the best Hibernian manager I've seen in my lifetime. I know he didn't win anything apart from the Scottish Championship, but it was still good. And then Omoania, the Cypriot club where he was at, he won the cup there, and he also came within minutes of getting positive results against Man United twice in Europe. So I think he done a really, really good job. Now let's look at Stephen Kenny's managerial record, and here you can see why he is potentially on his way out of the Irish job. Now, what I will say is, if you look at his record before he went to the Republic of Ireland, he's got really good win percentages, apart from Dunfermline Athletic. Is there anything to that? Now, I believe in 2006-07, Dunfermline Athletic were in the Premier League, so a 30% win record, considering the club size of Dunfermline, isn't bad. 15 wins, 11 draws, and 24 defeats. It's not horrible by any means, but if you look at the other clubs he was at, he did a lot better. Derry City, 51%, Shamrock Rovers 51%, Dundalk 65%, and he had a long spell at Dundalk, 6 years at Dundalk. Then he went and managed the Republic of Ireland under-21 side, where he had 58.33%, pretty good, 7 wins in 12 games and only 2 defeats. I mean, that's not bad at all, so you can see why he was given the Ireland job. The only thing I would say is, at club level, had this guy done enough to get a chance as the Ireland manager? I'm not too sure. I mean, it's the Irish League. No disrespect, but the Irish League isn't great, and I'd say the Ireland national job is a lot bigger than any team in the Irish League, and you can just see, guys, he's not cut it overall in all competitions. He's 11 wins in 38 games, 16 defeats in there with a 28.95 win record, but I believe overall in competitive games it's 6 wins and 24. So yeah, the guy is not good enough. I'm not surprised that he will be leaving his post come the end of the qualifiers. But is Neil Francis Lennon good enough? Could he be the man to get Ireland back into tournaments, whether it be Euros or whether it be World Cups? Now, there is a small chance, I believe, that Ireland can still qualify for the Euros through the Nations League, but it's going to take like a minor miracle. There's so many variables that need to go in their favour in order for them to go through, so I don't see it happening. Will Neil Lennon be the man? He's been out of management for a year now, what's he waiting on? Is he waiting on something, or is he just not had any job offers? Not entirely sure, but I think he'd be a good manager for Ireland. Like I said, I've always rated Neil Lennon as a manager. I think he's pretty underrated. He goes under the radar, and I know some people either love him or hate him or whatnot, but I mean, I've no real issue against Neil Lennon. His playing career for Northern Ireland didn't exactly go to plan, so who knows, maybe he can get a second bite at the cherry for the Irish team. Yeah, there was some controversy back there for sure. Didn't work out. I think back then, though, he should have been offered the option to play for the Irish national team. Now, I'm not too sure if he wanted that or if the FA would allow it, but you'd think due to the circumstances of him basically being forced out the Northern Ireland team that he should have been given the option to play for the other Ireland, but who knows, maybe he's going to end up, guys, as the manager. He is the bookies' favourite, and yeah, it looks like Ireland want him, so it just depends on whether Neil Lennon wants to go into international football. It would be his first role in international football. He's not managed in international football yet. We'll see if he wants to do it or not. Plus, I believe if he does that, it still frees him up. So he could still do a lot of punditry if he did go into international football, because it's not club football. You've not got the dealings, like I said, of club football every single week. So maybe international football is something that would suit Neil Lennon at this moment in time. So we'll see what happens, guys. Anyway, that's Fuck Football. Let's know your thoughts down below. Do you think Neil Lennon will get the job? Do you think he would do a good job of Ireland? I personally think he would do alright. I think he couldn't do worse than Stephen Kenny. He would definitely do better than Stephen Kenny. So we'll wait and see, guys. Anyway, that's it. Fog Football. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.